Hello again, friends. I guess I got to do this over again because I forgot to do publish at the end of my my live. So I'm trying it again. So I'm Michelle from Shelley Deshane, otherwise known as Shelley Deshane. I no longer have Shelley's Craft Cottage, so all my lives will be here on Shelley Deshane, and you're welcome to watch me. And I will post in the future. I will post when I'm going to be doing these lives, like the morning of or the night before, whatever. So I'm going to try to do them every Thursday. I'm calling them tips and techniques. So they will be for new stampers, because I've had a request from some new stampers asking to do some techniques and tips that they need to know. And I know there's some people who haven't been stamping for very long who probably don't know, some of these tips and techniques. So I will do them once a week, as long as I can keep finding ideas. Okay, so the first thing you need to know when you buy a new set of stamps, if you get the polymer set, there's an oil on top of on them when they come right from production. So you need to get that oil off. And there's a few different techniques I want to show you today. So let me pull a stamp set out that I know I haven't used. And I'll demonstrate what it looks like when you just take it out of the pack and then tap, tap, tap. Don't press hard. Tap, 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 and then stamp. Now, if you look close, you're going to see some spots that are not, this one looks pretty good, but that are not stamped real well. So one thing to do is to keep scrap paper next to you when you get brand new stamps and stamp it a few times, okay? That'll help get that oil off. That's one way to do it. And then you re-stamp it on your project and you'll have a very good image. Okay, so that's one way to do it. A second way to do it, and I'm going to use a different one. I haven't used these words yet, so I'm going to get a bigger stamp for that one, stamp block. Now the second way to do it is to stamp it in your ink and then take your cleaner, your chamois, and clean it off really good. So now you're taking the ink off and you're also removing the oil that's on it at the same time. And always make sure to do it in different directions. It's a good habit to get into. Okay, so now I know I've gotten the oil off of it. Now I'm going to stamp it 2 or 3 times, and you always check before you stamp down just to make sure you got enough ink. And then you stamp down, and you always hold it for a second, let the paper absorb it. And then you pick it up, and you couldn't have a better image than that. Okay, so that's a second way to get that oil off of them. The rubber ones don't usually have all that oil that these have, but it's a good idea to stamp on scrap paper first to make sure there's nothing on it. And I'll show you a set of rubber ones. This is a set of rubber ones. Okay. Now people ask me, which do you prefer, the rubber, red rubber, or the polymer? Now, they both, I like them both in different ways. The polymer gives you a nice, fine, crisp print, providing you get that oil off, where the rubber will is not as fine as it, but it gives you a decent, good stamp. So I like them both in different ways. Okay, so now the third way would be to take one of these. They're called 4-sided nail buffers. I wrote it over here so I could remember the name, and it's not real abrasive. It's just a buffer, okay? And then you take your stamp and don't push, just rub it over the top and do it at different angles to make sure you've gotten it from, I'm not pressing at all. I'm just going over the top. Now there's debris on this because of using that nail buffer. So you need to go into your chamois and get all those. You can see them here. I don't know if you can see them on the live, but to get all that debris off there, and turn it in different angles and make sure you get it off. Now you can tap a few times, make sure you have ink, and then stamp it, and you got a beautiful image. So this is one of my favorites. I oftentimes do the put it in ink and clean it off and then do it again when I'm in a hurry. But all these three techniques work well. Now, one other thing to know is when you use polymer, there's no springy to it. There's nothing behind it. Where the rubber ones have that behind it, okay, that sponge. So when you're stamping with the polymer ones, it's best to stamp with a mat underneath. And you know you're going to get a nice clear image. So you always tap, tap, tap. Don't press hard. Tap, make sure you got ink everywhere, and then stamp down. And that's a nice clean image as well. Okay? So those are little tips you need to know about brand new. Now I'm going to bring this chamois in the house because I've used it a few times with my buffer. I'm going to bring it in the house and rinse it off real well. I usually keep one at my desk, and I clean it like once a week because I use it often. And then once a week I clean the ones for the class, my classes when they use them. And after a while, as you can see, the ink doesn't come out anymore. It stains it. But in this case, I definitely got to wash it today because I got that little debris on there. Okay, so that's 3 different techniques to get that oil off of the bottom, off the, actually it's the top, the front of your new ink, your new stamps. So you should get in the habit of doing that. Always stamp on it. I keep scrap paper right next to me. Always stamp first on a scrap piece of paper to see if there's something that you got to fix or alter. Okay, so always remember to do that. Stamp and then stamp on your project. I hope that answers some questions. I thank you for coming to watch me. These will be put into videos at the top of my page if you don't get to it before it goes. They keep it live for 30 days. And then after 30 days, it goes into videos, or it goes into videos right away, but it's not, you wouldn't be able to find it after a while with all the other stuff that I post. So if you're looking for a video, go under videos. And I thank you for coming to watch today, and I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoy it. So I'll talk to you soon.